That's 27 days of unrelenting Israeli attacks on Gaza and its people. Bombs from the air, shelling from the land. And this is the human cost. These are the names of the more than 9,000 Palestinians who have now been killed. The human toll of the war, documented by Al Jazeera's data journalism team, AJ Labs. At least 3,700 of them are children, many of them newborns. That's one child killed every 10 minutes since the bombardment began. More than 2,300 women were killed in Israeli attacks. Here's what people are enduring in Gaza. Now, a top human rights expert has told Al Jazeera that the UN must hold Israel accountable for its military actions in Gaza. Craig Mohiber resigned over the UN's response to the war. In his resignation letter, he described Israel's onslaught on Gaza as, quote, textbook genocide. Al Jazeera's Gabriel Elizondo spoke to him.
Usually the most difficult part of proving genocide is intent, because there has to be an intention to destroy in whole or in part a particular group. In this case, the intent by Israeli leaders has been so explicitly stated and publicly stated by the Prime Minister, by the President, by senior cabinet ministers, by military leaders, that that is an easy case to make. It's on the public record. But it's important that we start using the language that the law sets out. Just as, in recent terms, every major international human rights organization, Israeli human rights organizations, Palestinian human rights organizations, United Nations human rights mechanisms, independent mechanisms, have found that the situation in Israel and Palestine amounts to the crime of apartheid. The UN needs to get used to addressing these particular violations, just as we have in other situations.
When we asked the Secretary General in his office about genocide, he won't use that term. He says, and previous Secretary Generals have said, that that is for courts to decide. Do you think that the Secretary General should start using the term genocide when it comes to what we're seeing happening in Gaza?
If we can allege that we see war crimes, crimes against humanity, as we have often done, there's no reason to exclude, where we see very strong evidence, the possibility of genocide being committed. And I think you're going to be hearing that term more and more in connection with what we're witnessing in Gaza. But institutions, of course, have to go through the necessary steps before they can make that pronouncement. I, as of today, am an independent citizen, not carrying the institution on my shoulders. And I feel quite confident as a human rights lawyer in saying that what I see unfolding in Gaza and beyond is genocide.